NBA trade season is officially open. The league's 30 teams are open for business. What can we potentially start to expect here over the next 6 weeks or so?
Well, look, I think everyone is still going to wonder about Giannis, even though the Bucks continue to tell teams, we're not trading him. Stop asking. The Bucks' new tactic appears to be telling teams that, no, we want upgrades. We're trying to convince Giannis to stay. But I think league-wide, everyone is going to look at that. But you're absolutely right. December 15th means the majority of players signed in the offseason are now trade eligible. So roughly 90% of the league is trade eligible. I think from the Mavs perspective, they've already started the early stages of taking calls. Teams are checking. I feel like I've written it 3, 4, 5 times. Gafford, despite the injury woes that have literally plagued him since the first day of training camp, there is still interest in him. Indiana is a team that has registered interest in Daniel Gafford. I don't think the Mavs need to do any rushing there. And referencing, is that Kevin Zhu? So if a trade doesn't happen tomorrow, like you said, I'm a crash out. That's that. Now,
tomorrow is kind of like an unofficial.
What I said
milestone.
was there is a very good chance there was a very good, it's not looking so great for me right now since Monday has already come and gone and we're already into Tuesday. Of course, the NBA operates on Eastern time and it's already Tuesday based on the NBA calendar. But basically what I was trying to get across was in the new CBA, which took effect in July 2023, the new rule is if you make a trade by Tuesday, by December 16th, players traded by December 16th can be reaggregated and put into another trade on trade deadline day. And we saw it was the Warriors who kind of illustrated how important these first 2 days of trade season are, because the Warriors traded for Dennis Schroeder last year on December 15th. The very first day Schroeder was eligible to be traded. The Warriors got him with the idea that if this works, great. But if it doesn't, he has a salary that we can flip again, and that's exactly what happened. The Warriors used Schroeder's contract in the Jimmy Butler blockbuster, and then there was even another trade after that sent Schroeder from Utah to Detroit. So there is a good chance that we see something tomorrow. Maybe I'm going to be proven wrong, and no one decides to follow that Warriors blueprint from last season. But if you see a trade tomorrow, that's one of the reasons why, because anyone traded by tomorrow can be retraded. Because normally when a player is traded, player X is traded, the team that gets him has to wait 60 days if they want to put him in another trade package. You can trade that player on his own, but you can't combine that player with other contracts without waiting 60 days. But the new rule says if the trade is done December 15th or the 16th, that you can do it in less than 60 days on deadline day, which this season is February 5th.
So from your perspective and from your read, what type of approach are the Mavericks going to take? Are they going to take a patient approach?
I think they're just listening to everything right now. Look, we've been talking about AD and his status for I don't know how many weeks already. The presumption is that the offers aren't going to be good, so why rush in and just trade him for the sake of it? And look, he didn't play tonight, so that, teams are obviously paying very close attention. Anyone with AD interest has done the math, and they know that he's played in 11 games and he's missed 16. And that is going to factor into the offers that the Mavs get. There's just no way around it. But I personally, and again, the Mavs aren't calling me for my input, but I'm going to give it anyway. I mean, I'm not just trading AD for the sake of it.
Sure.
For some, it's going to help us heal or whatever. No, we've seen when AD plays well, he can still do a lot of damage. So to me, trading him for just the best deal that's put on the table, like hypothetically, just again, this is hypothetical. If the Hawks actually did offer a trade package built around Kristaps Porzingis expiring contract and some low-level draft compensation. Is that enough to give up Anthony Davis after what you gave up to get Anthony Davis? Like,
well,
again,
you never.
This is. I'm going to keep saying this too. It's not easy calculus because we know that the best thing for the Mavs, as much as no one wants to hear it, and I shouldn't say no one because there are some people in chat who do want to hear it. The best course for the Mavs realistically is ending up in the lottery because this, as we've said so many times, this is the last draft between now and 2031 that they control their first. So the best thing for them is to end up in the lottery and take the lottery spin again and see where they end up. That's obviously not easy to do if AD is playing and if Kyrie comes back and you play your strongest team from here to the finish line. But I don't like the idea of just trading AD for whatever. Like that's not good. That's not a good approach. Look at the Corella Straders in pieces right now.
Yeah. He left a sentence up to interpretation.
There's more solidity in Ron's tank top than the Corella.
He's getting the answers he deserves by leaving that statement up to interpretation.
Well, I was hoping that's what I was hoping.
Yeah,
for.
exactly. Yeah. I guess what I would say to that is with the whole Anthony Davis situation, you're never obviously going to get the type of return that you got when you acquired him. Are you going to get a Kevin Durant type of return for an Anthony Davis where you get a young player and a veteran like a Dylan Brooks and a Jalen Green where the Rockets had, when they decided to move on for Kevin Durant? Like that to me is what kind of calculus are you weighing in terms of the realistic expectations of a Anthony Davis return that only the Mavericks can answer in that particular case. Let's continue.
You can't do a sunk cost thing. I agree. You can't. You're never going to get back anywhere near what you gave up.
Yeah.
But so, this whole extension conversation, he may want.
I'm tuning that out. I don't take that seriously.
I'm not even taking
the
that seriously.
Mavs don't have to give him an extension just because he wants one. He has a $63 million player option. Is he really going to turn that down if there's no extension?
Nope.
I would be surprised to see that, to turn down a $63 million player option to go to free agency. $63 million is a lot of money. So he's under contract. He's under contract for 2 more years after this one. If you really believe he's only going to play 1 more year and then decline a $63 million player option, I guess anything's possible, but I would be skeptical.
Well, of course, that's what his representation or whatever is going to want, so I don't blame him for wanting that or Rich Paul for wanting that or whatever.
Yeah, no, of course that I mean,
it's a job.
Yeah, that's his thing as the agent to try to get his player the max extension that he can. I'm not even looking at it from that perspective. I'm just saying, like, I just see this conversation out there that because he wants an extension, the Mavs have to act by this summer. No, they don't.
No, they don't. I guess the alternate perspective would be, okay, he wants an extension. If he doesn't feel like he's going to get one or one isn't coming, could he, which he has done before, decide, okay, if you're not going to give that to me, I can ask out. And they don't have to trade him, right. But then the drama then becomes that much more of, okay, the player wants out. Will the team be forced to do something because they don't want that to be a distraction, for the franchise?
I don't think there's a team out there that's like, dude, I cannot wait to give AD a contract.
No, I don't think so either.
Please trade him here.
Basically,
no, I don't think so either.
He would have to have a team that would want to give him the extension to try to do that leverage type move. There's no team on the other side. He has no leverage.
I mean, that's not hasn't stopped players from.
But again, we're talking about